one of the senior captains of this Canfield team. Abby, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Abby, you've been the blocking queen of Canfield so far this season. First match I did, I think you had 10 against Gerard. Last night against Boardman, I think you had another 10. What contributes to that? What makes you such a good blocker there in the middle?
If I'm being honest, it's not all just me. Like, it's my pins, the outside and right side. It's sometimes Bella Bucciarelli or Caitlin Batcha and Maddie Cleveley. They're the ones who really set up the block for me. So if they didn't set up the block, I would probably have like 4 blocks that game because I think 4 of them were solo. But I'm thanking my pins right now because they're the ones who actually set up the block and set me up for the block.
When we talked to Coach Nesbitt before the season, she singled you out as one of the players that they're really going to be asking a lot from this year and stepping into, a little bit of a bigger role, not just statistically, but leadership-wise. How have you already handled the responsibilities put on your shoulders this year, early in the season, and what kind of things have you grown in this year as your senior year, goes on?
Gosh, there's a couple things. My back row especially, I served last year as a middle, but my sophomore year was my first year playing varsity. I played right side. But it was a lot of pressure at first, but then I realized I just needed to have fun because we also have a lot of other girls stepping up, not just seniors, but like the juniors who are on the team. We have a lot of people stepping up and playing their role. And like, honestly, that's all you have to do. You just have to play your role and do what your position is, not try to do everything at once. Like, it's just really just doing what you're supposed to do. That's how it works. That's how we come together as a team.
Abby, you come from a great family. Of course, I know your parents really well, your brother, your grandma who even listens 2 hours away to every single match you were telling me last night. So how much does that support mean to you, having both your parents in the stands and then your grandparents who are always watching?
Yeah, it's actually not just my grandparents. I have my grandma's best friend actually watches me too. We call her Susu. We haven't seen them in a while. I think they're coming up Saturday, actually. My brother watched last night, and my grandma, who lives like 15 minutes from us, she comes to most games. And then my parents, of course, and my sister. I mean, it's honestly great having those people to support me because, honestly, I'd be nothing without them. Like, my mom comes straight from work to my games. Like, she hates missing my games. Like, she missed one. She cried and like said, "I'm so sorry." I'm like, "No, Mom, you're totally fine." Like, she hates missing games, and I love having that support because, like, someone's always there for you no matter what.
How did you fall into volleyball, and how much has your family kind of embraced the sport and tried to learn as much about it as they can? Because I know your dad's a basketball guy, and I'm sure he had to kind of dig into volleyball and try to learn about it to help you throughout your career. So, how did you fall into volleyball, and how much has your family kind of embraced the sport of it?
Like you said, we have been a basketball family. I started in 7th grade. I haven't played club. I just never had time because I was in AAU for basketball. But yeah, I started in 7th grade and 8th grade, and I wasn't very good. But my parents still went to like mostly everything. And then my sister started. She's a freshman this year. She started playing volleyball, so like they kind of had to get involved. And both me and my sister kind of grew a love for the game. Especially this year, I was watching the freshman game yesterday with my dad, and he seems like so interested. He even line judged one game, and I'm like, okay. But like he was talking to me about how like that was so in. He's like, I will be that person to call that ball out. Like, I will be so loud. And I'm like, I've never seen that side of him. I mean, maybe it's just like the competitiveness, athleticness, like in my dad, but I think my whole family has adjusted really well to the game of volleyball because me and my sister, like I said, grew a love for it. So I think they started to grow a love for it too.
That was a great crowd last night. A lot of energy in the building at Canfield, and a big win for you guys, winning in 4 sets. What's it like coming back home and picking up the first victory on your home floor?
I'm honestly so happy because the first few games were a little rough for us. I mean, I think we finally clicked this game, and it was great. Like, I came home and I was like so happy. I had so much energy in me even after the game, and I'm like, I don't know what's going on. I should be like dead tired right now because we just played like the game like such a good game, and I still have so much energy. I texted Parker Wilkins, our libero. I'm like, hey, do you want to go to Sheets and like go get a milkshake or something? And I'm like jumping around. Like I drove to her house, picked her up, and went to Sheets, and I'm like all happy and stuff. Like winning does that to our team. It's not just me, but like I could tell everyone had that like glow in their eyes after we just won. It was a great win for us.
Me and Richie were talking about it at the top of the show. This schedule you guys have put together is tough. It's a tough schedule, not just in the league, but outside of the league. You're playing some of the top volleyball teams in the area. How have you guys, internally in practice and after games, kind of kept the confidence level high and realized that, like, guys, we're playing high level volleyball every night. We might not win every game, but we have to stay confident.
Yeah, confidence is honestly really hard. It's mind over matter. It's like I try to fake it till I make it. Even if I'm doing bad, I'm like, okay, like I'm fine. I fake it till I make it, and then eventually, hopefully, I do make it. But like Hoban, I had a completely different personality than at Girard. That's completely my fault. Like I saw it, and honestly, it's just like staying positive the whole time. Even if you're doing bad, like you have to tell yourself, like you'll get the next one, or you have to tell your teammates, like you'll get the next one. Don't worry. Like it's picking people up, being positive, and never letting your head drop, because once your head drops, other people's head drops, and now it's just everyone's head is down. So it's honestly about just keeping your head up and staying positive and staying confident.
Your younger sister and Cece, who's kind of following in your footsteps now. She's a freshman. She's going to play volleyball and basketball. And what are some of the things you've tried to teach her and be a role model for her?
This is actually really funny because she came to our first like basketball open gyms and stuff, and Coach Real, our basketball coach, just at the end of practice, he's like, I pray to the Lord that the Muckelroy sisters haven't fought yet. And I'm like, hope, don't worry, it'll come. But when I get home, like, or sometimes in the car, because I have to drive her home, obviously, I try to help her out with a lot of stuff. I don't really have time. I watch her games like when it's a triple header, freshman, JV, varsity, and I usually help her out with that stuff. But like sometimes I can't really watch, but I help her out with her approach or swing. Sometimes she hits like this, so I tell her open her hand. Even in basketball, like I still try and help her out because like I'm a senior, I have that experience, and she's a freshman, so she has room to learn, so I can help her out. Even like once I go to college, hopefully I'll still get to watch her games and stuff, and I'll still help her out. So
what's the biggest thing you guys fight over? Since you said it's coming, it's coming. What's going to be that thing that drives a little bit of head knocking?
Sometimes she's upset after the game. I try to tell her something, and she just gives me an attitude. I'm like, okay, I'm just trying to help. And then we also share a room, so that kind of bunks our heads a little bit. But ever since Zane moved out to go to Mount, she's been staying in his room. But it used to be the remote for the TV we used to fight about, and then just small stupid stuff. But I'm pretty close with her, so it's okay.
What's the house like now? Zane was like a wild man. I mean, he used to hang out with Josh, and he was wild. I mean, is it a lot calmer now? Can you sleep at night?
Yeah, because I don't have to listen to rap music all night long. He just playing his Xbox, and music is just going at 2 a.m. I think he might have fallen asleep, but he still has his music going. It's actually a lot more peaceful, but I do miss him sometimes because, he's my big brother, and now I'm the, older child of the house now because he's gone. Not gone. He's only 45 minutes away, but, I still miss him. As much as we used to fight too, I still miss him a lot.
Were there any house responsibilities that now you have that he used to have?
Oh, yeah. So we have chores. My chore was the bathroom. My sister, we got these chores when we were younger, and we knew Zane wouldn't do a lot. So we gave him the trash. I had to do the bathroom, and Cece had to sweep the house. And that's like the easiest job. And I'm here scrubbing the bathroom, and it takes me like 15, 20 minutes to clean it. And Cece's done in 5. Zane's done in 2. And I'm like, okay, so now I have to pick up the trash. And now it's kind of just like our rooms and cleaning around the house. So,
Abby, you're very fortunate to play 2 sports at Canfield. When you're done with the volleyball season, you go right into things with basketball. How much does that kind of overlap? Are you missing any practice in between times at basketball?
Yeah. I think last year I only missed a week or so, not even. Sometimes I'm supposed to take a week off in between, but I can't. I'm so eager to go into basketball. It honestly just depends how far we go in tournament for volleyball, but I mean, I'm really not worried because I try to shoot at least once every week, like still get in the groove of things. But yeah, I go straight into it, and I mean, it's pretty sad because this will be my last volleyball year, and then last basketball year in high school. So it's going to be rough, but I love transitioning because I never have a break, and after all these sports are over, I feel like I'm doing absolutely nothing. So
Senior night's going to be here before you know it. What are going to be some of the things that you reflect on during that night as your favorite memories with the program and things that you've kind of learned throughout Canfield volleyball?
Yeah, definitely. Okay, I will definitely say the trip to Cedar Point and Kalahari. I think that really brought our team together. It was amazing. Like, we had team bonding. It was probably 10 o'clock, and we were all dead tired because we just played, I think, 5 or 6 games. And then we went to Cedar Point, or no, we went to Kalahari, and then we were up in our little cabin thing, and we were all just team bonding and talking about all of our secrets and stuff. And we were all so tired. We didn't want to be there, but we knew we had to. And I learned a lot about a lot of the girls that I didn't know before, and it was great just getting to know them better. And then the next day we went to Cedar Point. We got to ride a ride together, and then everyone kind of split off into groups. But I mean, probably that. Riley Kincaid is my setter, and we run these little like fast cross the net runs, and it was last night actually. It was a little bit too high, and I went to hit it, and I hit my nail. And these are press-ons, and I was so upset because I wear them all the time, and it popped off in the middle of the game, and everyone in the stands thought it was my gum. And so there's a lot of memories throughout this season already that I can definitely reflect on. But it's definitely my teammates. Like, I love them. They all, and my coach, oh my gosh, she's amazing. Coach Krista, Coach Rolla, Coach Amanda. I mean, there's so many people that I could just thank, and my senior night's a little long.
Well, I've always been amazed how you girls are able to keep nails during volleyball season. So I feel like it's got to be a task.
Yeah, these aren't like actually done.
Right.
These are, yeah. So,
but still, I mean,
Yeah, I know.
And for you, of course, I think everybody could tell you bring a lot of energy to the team. I mean, we were talking last night during the JV game. You were looking to play like Thunderstruck and all these like hype songs to get ready for the match. I mean, talk about that, what you bring to the table every single night, and you're kind of like the spark in the middle there.
Yeah. Well, our athletic director was supposed to be playing music, and he didn't stop the music. So then I just stood there because Coach Chris had to be on the bench. So I'm standing there looking for what song to play next. I don't know why. I've never actually done DJ before. It was actually so exciting. But I was also excited to play Boardman because they're not a bad team. They're very similar to us, but I was hoping that was going to be our turning point. I was excited, and like I know like it's not just me who actually brings the energy, but we have Riley, Parker, all of them. Like, they bring so much energy to the court. Bella Bucciarelli, like, we're all on a very energetic team. Like, we always have so much fun together. And I don't even know, like, it's just like a spark between all of us. Like, it's like I don't know if you remember Grace Roscoe. It's like a Grace Roscoe team right now. So
we definitely remember Roscoe. Before we let you go, you're a senior, so you're going to be moving on into the next chapter of life. What are some of your future plans, and where do you want to see yourself in the next 4 or 5 years?
I'm looking into colleges right now. I'm hoping to play basketball. I'll probably end up going to Mount Union, like Zane's there right now, and play basketball. My mom works there, so that's a plus. Like, me and my mom have grown closer over the years. Like, I remember when I was little, I'm like, I'm not going to Mount Union. Like, I'm too close to my mom. But then throughout high school, like, I started to grow so much closer with her. And now, like, I do not want to be super far away from her because she knows everything about me. Like, I tell her everything, every good thing, every bad thing. Like, she knows. So, but I'm hoping to play basketball, hopefully at Mount Union, but I don't really know where else it'll go. So, but we'll see.
What kind of things do you want to study? Like, what career do you want to kind of go into? Do you even know yet?
I have an idea. It was first architecture, and then engineering, and Mount Union has a great engineering program. Kent State has a great architecture program. And then I was also thinking interior design. So all that kind of stuff. I haven't really been set on one yet, but I'm keeping those in mind.
That's
Abby, Thank you.
Architecture.
So, are you going to ask one more question, Rich?
Yeah, I was going to say,
Right, you got one more. Okay, we're good.
very difficult, and so is engineering.
Yeah.
And mentally, how are you preparing for that?
I took physics. Okay, senior year, usually you have like blow off classes, not blow off classes, but easier classes. I tried getting into physics, and then I'm also in pre-calc and trig. But I've always loved math. I don't know if it's just because I was like not in advanced classes or something, and it just came easy to me. But I've honestly always loved math, and so that's kind of what sparked me a little bit.
All right, Abby, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today. Good luck in your senior season in volleyball and basketball. We love covering you. We'll continue covering you throughout the year, and we wish you the best of luck. And thank you so much again for joining us. We'll talk to you again real soon.
Thank you so much for having me.